Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you about the new Texas law which legalizes silencers and how they finally got round to passing constitutional carry. But before we get started, I want to tell you about the fine mahogany night vision products with custom Corinthian leather trim offered to you by our friends at TNVC.com. Artfully handcrafted by earnest, hard-working Amish operators, TNVC night vision is unique and uncompromising, just like you. If you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff, take a look at our sponsor, TNVC.com, your source for quality night vision gear to make you the bump in the night. Bless their little hearts. Texans finally got around to passing HB 1927, which is their very own constitutional carry law. It was a tough haul with lots of politicking, but Texas is finally ready to join the 20 other civilized states which do not require their residents to seek permission from the Crown in order to enjoy the fundamental human right to be armed. I've covered this law in detail in previous episodes, so I won't dive too deep, but several amendments were tacked on which are suboptimal to say the least, and Lieutenant Governor Patrick seemed like he was trying to derail it, but in the end it passed and Governor Abbott signed it. So everyone give Texas a hand for getting there, even if they are a little late to the party.
Go ahead and clap. Mediocrity deserves applause. Why don't we go find a Ford Focus and clap around it?
The new law will go into effect on the 1st of September, so bear in mind it is still technically illegal to carry openly or concealed without a permission slip from the state in the interim. It's also worth noting you can carry concealed with your Texas license to carry in 37 other states, counting those 20 other states which already had permitless carry, and your LTC counts as a background check, allowing you to skip the NICS check when purchasing a firearm, so it may still be worthwhile for you to get a Texas LTC, even if you don't need one to carry concealed. Yay! Homemade silencers are totally legal in Texas now. Except not really. House Bill 957 has passed the House and Senate and was just signed by Governor Abbott. When it takes effect, it will legalize silencers made in Texas. Kind of. See, it was a felony in Texas to possess a silencer without a federal tax stamp, but now it won't be, so long as the silencer is made in Texas. The bill also prohibits state and local law enforcement organizations from enforcing federal silencer laws, which, of course, are still in effect. This is very much like the wacky tobacco laws in some states. In both cases, the feds insist their laws are still in effect, but without help from local law enforcement, the federal government is fairly impotent in enforcing those laws. So, what does that mean in practice? Well, if you were to buy a Texas-made silencer or build one yourself, it's unlikely you would find yourself in a position where you could get arrested for it, unless you did something really stupid. But to be honest, it's not like the feds had some sort of silencer radar, so if you were to make an illegal silencer in any other state, or in Texas before this law passed, you'd also still be unlikely to get caught so long as you don't go around showing it off to people at the range. Generally speaking, people don't often get arrested for NFA items unless they did something else which attracted the attention of law enforcement. Now that said, if you were to come into contact with local police for a traffic violation or other minor reasons, in the past they might have wanted to see your tax stamp under the old law, and now they won't. By the way, it's popular for internet people to claim local cops can't ask to see federal paperwork, and that's pretty much not true in most jurisdictions. First of all, cops can ask anything they want. And no, you don't have to show them, but if having a silencer is illegal in your state, as it is in Arizona, and having a tax stamp is only an affirmative defense, they'll just let the courts sort it out. And technically speaking, even if you showed them the tax stamp, they could still haul you off because an affirmative defense is something you present to the judge after the charges are filed. Of course, none of the preceding constitutes legal advice in any way, because I'm not a lawyer on account of my heart belongs to Jesus. But aside from the legal points, does this mean you can go out and buy a silencer made in Texas and not have to pay a $200 tax? Well, not so fast. The problem is, any company which is already making or selling silencers is federally licensed, and they are just not going to risk jeopardizing their SOT or their FFL. I'm sure smaller companies will pop up to sell cans, but they'll have no reputation for quality, and they may be making great stuff, or they could be making garbage. Or they might be an ATF sting. In any case, there will be little consumer confidence, so my prediction is there won't be a robust market for Texas-made commercial silencers. At least, not at first. But one of the other provisions of the House Bill 957 may ease some of those problems. The law also directs the Texas Attorney General to defend the law in federal court. The argument will be that the 1934 National Firearms Act lacks the authority to regulate items which are made entirely inside of Texas, because those items do not invoke the Interstate Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution. If the AG successfully defends this law in federal court, it would give the legal cover needed to encourage businesses to deal in Texas-made silencers. It would also pave the way for other states to pass similar laws. But unfortunately, for any of that to happen, someone has to have standing, which means someone has to be charged by the feds for having an unregistered silencer. And this is another one of those areas where the ATF is probably going to do their very best to avoid a ruling unless they get painted into a corner. So, who wants to take one for the team? Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy watching these things because I sure like making them for you. Hey kids, do you want to get email alerts for the best deals, projects we're working on, and the hottest stuff you missed on the ARFCOM forums? You bet you do. So go ahead and hit the Linktree link in the description and sign up for our newsletter. And remember, our robot overlords in the tube of yous know what we want better than we do ourselves, so they routinely unsubscribe viewers from channels which might contain wrongthink, like our own. That makes puppies cry, and Captain America is very disappointed, so don't forget to check every now and then to be sure you are still subscribed to us and ring that notification bell so you can stay in the know on all the 2A news. If you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you night vision with that cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, and all sorts of other gear to make you the bump in the night. I love you.